Let's pick up on the humanitarian challenge. Bragg is the Assistant Secretary General in the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs at the United Nations. I asked her in New York what sort of leverage they have over the Sri Lankan government and the Tamil Tiger rebels.
We have been continually in discussion with the government at all levels, both in Colombo, locally, in New York, and using whatever means that we have. And from the UN side, the continual dialogue has been from the highest level down between the Secretary General and the President of Sri Lanka in order to press for both access and for the ability to be able to provide aid to those who have exited from the conflict area, to the people who are currently in the camps, as well as for the ones who are still trapped in the combat zone. As humanitarians, we of course have always been in touch with the local levels of the LTTE, and we will continue to be in contact with both sides to be able to work to provide humanitarian aid.
You say you're in touch, you have, to use your word, dialogue, but in the end, is that producing any pressure? Are they listening to your pressure, and is it giving you any leverage to improve the humanitarian situation?
Well, we are getting movement. It's just not enough in the sense that, for example, where the IDP camps, where a lot of people will now end up, and we, prior to this last week of offensive, there were already about 80,000 people in IDP camps. They were very heavily militarized in the past months, and through our efforts, they have been largely demilitarized, and that I think is moving in the right direction, because that would be what we would expect of IDP camps to be to be serviced by civilians and not to have military presence. But at the same time,
can I just be clear? Are you actually facing active resistance to your humanitarian pressure, both from the Tamil Tigers and from the government? Are you being fobbed off?
Well, there are areas where we are still continuing to press for access. For example, we, as the international humanitarian community, don't have full access to the screening points, not where the IDP camps are, but to the screening points where the supposedly 100,000 people are on the move. In an area that's called Omentai, the UNHCR and the ICRC do have presence there in the screening points, but any points north of that, for example in Kelenoche, we currently do not have any presence by the UNHCR to provide the kind of confidence that the civilian population exiting would need in terms of the screening procedures.
Bragg there, the Assistant Secretary General in the Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs at the UN.